Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so today we're back on this Toro recycler mower. Last time we did anything to it was 4 months ago. And 4 months ago, we noticed it had a rod knock. So what I did in that video, there was a couple of videos before this one that you're about to see. What I did was I made sure the blade was installed properly. I made sure that the blade bolt was tight. That was all good. It turned out it looked like when I drained the oil on it, it looked like it seemed to be pretty thinned out. Smelled a little gassy. So we changed the oil on it. It did have a hard time on the cold start. I had to prime it. And this has an automatic choke. It's a quantum engine, but it has the automatic choke on it. So what we did, and I believe the last video, which I'll just pin it in the comments if you want to check that video out. I took the I took the top housing off so we could gain access to the choke linkage. We made sure everything was hooked up properly, and it was sticking a little bit, so we sprayed it up with some WD-40, and then that turned out to work pretty good on it. What else? Oh yeah, and then in one of the videos too, I showed you how to clean the height adjusters. On this one, it has the big wheels in the back, and the height adjuster is pretty hard to get to, so we pulled the wheel off, and I just showed you to clean it, put WD-40 on it, and just work it back and forth, and we got that working pretty good so far. The last lawnmower video that I had up was on that Let's Go lawnmower, and that had a quantum engine on as well. And what happened with that was it sat over the winter because it was having a hard time cold starting. And then when I pulled it out in the spring, we noticed that it wasn't the spring, it was last week actually. We noticed that the primer bulb was really stiff. And also after I primed it, it would start and stall. So I guess gas was laying in the carburetor. Because on that machine, I installed a brand new carburetor that I got it with a different lawnmower that the carburetor wasn't needed for. So I got the carburetor for free on that. And we also put a brand new blade on that one. And whatever else, changed the oil, whatever else we did to that. But now I'm in a hurry to get this one going because a few days after that video, I hung on to it for about 2 or 3 days to make sure it was the first pull startup every time. So I ended up selling that. I was asking $90 for it. I was offered $70 for it. And then we settled on $80. So I made pretty good money on that. We didn't have to do much to that. And also, the primer base on that, they're usually warped. And in that video, I showed you, I showed you the remedy that I used to fix those warped backing. The airbox backing that has the primer bulb installed in it. I showed you how to do a quick fix on that, which worked for me quite a few times. Now, I don't know if that backing was warped. The problem I was having was with the old backing. I do have a couple of brand new primer bulbs and retainers. I don't know where they are, so I ended up using a different one. And that had ductwork on it, which was a pain to get apart. And a bigger pain to put back together. So I just did that modification that I normally do on the backing, putting the oversized washers on to compensate for the warpness. All right, so let's get on with this right now. All right, so after cleaning the choke linkage and everything, this has been sitting for 4 months. I did make sure I ran it out of gas though before I put it back in storage here. And I just put some gas in it now. I wanted to at least start on the second pull here, but I didn't do anything with it except put gas in it right now. We have a cold engine here, and let's see what it does. See, it's ice cold. Nope. I'm not at all happy with that. At all. What was it, 3 or 4 poles? I want to go off on at least the second pole. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up. I'm going to put the machine on the bench. Where I take the air filter housing off. You know, the backing off. I want to see exactly how that choke works. I hope the choke didn't start coming off already. I mean, we only started it up for a couple of seconds there. So it should be pretty ice cold. I got to blow the table off. It rained again, so let me do that and I'll get set up. And I want to make sure that that choke is closing all the way on it. And I want to do some cosmetics to this too. If it runs well, if it starts up like it should. I'm pretty sure it had enough time for the gas when I put the gas in it to flow down into the carburetor. So I don't think it was a matter of just waiting for the gasoline to circulate. Now it'll probably start on the first pull now, but I want it to start on the first pull when it's ice cold. So I'll be back in a couple of seconds for you. Okay, so I mentioned in the last video, this has the wrong air filter in it. The air filter's too small. I was able to dig one out. I have a pretty good used one here. It's in decent condition. I'm pretty sure that fits. So we'll be installing that too in the meantime. Alright, so I'm going to begin by just taking off this top cover here. It's 2 Phillips head bolts, screws rather. And we'll take this out off and get it out of the way here. It could be that this engine is just tired. Why it doesn't start up on the first or second pull, it could be that. But I want to make sure that the choke flapper is closed all the way here first before we jump to any other conclusions. Get that out of the way. See, this filter here is just too small for this. It's supposed to go in there that way, actually. This one's more like it. Okay, so I just pop off this backing here. You'll be using a 5/16 socket, and there's 3 screws that you'll be taking out here. Where's that 3rd screw at? It's up here. You could use power tools if you have them, but most homeowners may not have power tools. That's why I just do everything by hand here. And then you're going to have the crankcase breather tube. that hooks up to the back of the air cleaner here. I thought I cleaned the back of this air cleaner out last time, but I didn't. So I got a lot of cleaning to do here. Alright, so let me get the flashlight so I could really see that. We're gonna kill the battery on this. I think I killed the battery on the flashlight the other day. I left it on. Okay. So. All right. I don't know, it seems to be okay, closed all the way. At first it didn't seem like, it seemed like the linkage was binding a little. I don't know. Yeah, it's closed. And like I said, we had this whole top shroud off, and I sprayed everything up. Well, I think we'll put it back on the ground and see if I can get a first or second pull out of it. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I'll leave all that. I can leave all this off for now. Doesn't matter. I just plop this cover back on here. Let it bounce around. I don't care. It's alright. We'll just stick that on there. Alright, let me get set back up on the ground here. We'll try to start this thing up. Not only was the engine knocking before he changed the oil, it was smoking too. But I had a funny feeling that this mower was probably tilted on its side at one time, the wrong way. And when I let it run out of gas 4 months ago, the smoke seemed to have cleared. All right, let's see how this starts up now, first or second pull. But the main test will be in one morning when it sat overnight. So, and we'll see if it's stopped smoking and not knocking is bad, or maybe not at all, hopefully. We want to make sure of when the engine's not running, it will be set on full throttle, And then when you start the engine, the governor will pull the throttle down to its normal running RPM. So I want to make sure that, yeah, it does. It returns really well back to full throttle. So that's not an issue. Let's try one more time. Getting confused here. The only problem is this choke arm is pretty much in the way all the time. No, it's right. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's all good. Well, I don't really know what the problem is here with this. The choke should be open now. Ran long enough. Let's see if the choke closes again. I guess we'll have to try it again in the morning. Alright, I'm going to degrease the engine in the machine. And I have some red paint and I have some black paint. I like to paint the engine. I mean, if it starts up on the 4th or 5th pull, like in the beginning of the video, I really didn't count. I'll just sell it cheaper. I don't have another quantum engine or anything like that. I don't know if this engine's just tired or what. Another thing too, maybe replace the spark plug. Maybe that'll help it. But from what I remember, the spark plug was still pretty good on it. But we'll see what happens. Well, degreasing it made a pretty big difference so far. There's some blue paint on the deck. I want to see if I can get it off with some, with something. I don't know what. I do have some acetone. I don't know if that'll get it off, but it looks pretty good. So I paint the engine, and if I can't get that blue paint off, I do have some paint that matches pretty good. Maybe I'll just touch it up with that, and I'll paint that back flapper cover. I'll paint that, but the rest of it I always shine everything up with WD-40. So we'll see how that works out. I'll be back to you soon. Okay, so I dried everything off real good and I painted the engine, painted the head here. I got a point because I can't see. Sunlight's bothering me here. Alright, so what I did here is I just WD-40'd the deck and the flapper here for the chute. I WD-40'd the top cover here. Wow, I can't see anything here. I WD-40'd the top cover. I painted the back of the engine. I painted the handles real quick, both sides. I also painted this back flapper here. Painted that. Came out good. Painted in the corner of the engine here. Alright, so the blue paint on the deck, I really couldn't get it off with the acetone. It was coming off some, but it looked horrible. So I had some red paint that kind of matched. So I just painted this section here in the side. And then I WD-40 the cover for the belt for the power drive. I did that. I gotta stick the spark plug back in. I had the spark plug in here that I paint with, so I gotta put the regular plug back in. But for the most part, it came out pretty good. I WD'd the air filter cover here. That's what I use to shine everything up. And I think it looks pretty good. I just have to sharpen the blade. And I'm anxious to put this out for sale already. I usually keep them like a couple of days. But after I get this all back together, after I sharpen the blade, we'll start it up again and then we'll close out here. Okay, so we are not seeing anything wrong as far as the cold start goes. Everything is working properly. The choke, the throttle, everything like that. I was thinking about scrubbing down the bagger, but I don't know. I think it's okay. Well, we'll just leave it at that for now. But the rest of the machine came out pretty good. Looks pretty good. Let's see how it starts now. Now they're calling for thunderstorms today. I don't know, maybe later today. Because I was anxious and I wanted to put this out for sale. But I think I may not. So I'll either be back to you in the morning with another cold start real quick after we conclude this video. I want to start it up right now and see how it starts. But if I don't come back to you, I hope you got something out of this video. At least how to prepare the lawnmower for resale. I sharpened the blade on it. It's got a gator blade on it, a mulching blade, which is in very good condition. It just needed a little bit of sharpening. So I took care of that. And it shined up pretty decent. Alright, so let me try to start this thing up and see what it does here. First pull. The engine sounds pretty quiet compared to what it sounded like before we changed the oil, so I think it should be alright. Okay, so if I don't see you in the morning, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one, and take care. Good morning. So appearance is very important too. A little cleaning, a little WD-40, and some paint will help you get your asking price or something close to it. And also what we did in part 1 and part 2, which I'll leave a link. I'll leave the links to in the comment section here. So I want to thank you for watching again, and let's see how it starts this morning. Still, it's ice cold. First pull, very cool. I'll see you all on the next one, and take care.